have filed for divorce in New Jersey. Now what? Navigating the court service process can be difficult. Here is a guide to help lead you to successful service. Serving your spouse with a complaint for divorce. Once you have received your stamp-filed divorce complaint back from the clerk's office, you are ready to proceed with your divorce case. How do you know if your complaint is filed with the clerk's office? The docket number beginning with FM will be written on the first page of your complaint. The word filed will be stamped on the first page of your complaint along with the date filed. Important tips. You have 4 months from the date of your complaint to serve your spouse with the divorce complaint. If you cannot serve your spouse with the divorce complaint within 4 months, you must contact the clerk's office to ask for additional time. It may be necessary for you to put your request in writing. There are 4 different options to serve your spouse with a divorce complaint. Option 1, acknowledgement of service. Option 2, Sheriff's Department within New Jersey. Option 3, private process server within New Jersey. And option 4, Sheriff's Department or private process server outside of New Jersey. We're going to take a look at option 1, acknowledgement of service. The defendant voluntarily signs an acknowledgement that she or he accepts service of complaint and summons. Acknowledgement must be signed in the presence of a notary public, or an attorney will require your spouse to present a valid ID. Most notary publics or attorneys charge a fee to notarize an acknowledgement of service. Once your spouse signs the acknowledgement of service, you must file this document with the clerk's office within 7 days. Your spouse then has 35 days to file a response to the divorce complaint. If your spouse does not respond within 35 days, you are ready to proceed with your divorce on a default basis. Important tip. Do not serve your spouse on your own if there is a history of domestic violence or an active restraining order. Doing so could put you in a dangerous situation. Instead, use the Sheriff's Department or private process server to serve your spouse with the divorce complaint. Use options 2, 3, or 4. Option 2, Sheriff's Department within New Jersey. The Sheriff's Department can serve your spouse with a divorce complaint and summons. You must send your request to the Sheriff's Department in the county where your spouse lives. For example, if your spouse lives in Newark, you must send your request to the Essex County Sheriff's Department. The Sheriff's Department charges a fee to serve your spouse with a divorce complaint. The fees vary in price according to town and mileage. Costs can range anywhere from $35 to $50. Waiver of fees. You do not have to pay the service fee if you are approved for a fee waiver from the court. This fee waiver must be signed by a judge. Next steps. Once the sheriff has served your spouse with a divorce complaint, they will provide you with an affidavit of service. You must file the affidavit of service with the family clerk's office within 7 days. Your spouse then has 35 days to file a response to the divorce complaint. If your spouse does not respond within 35 days, you must file a request to enter default with the clerk's office to proceed with the next steps. If service is unsuccessful, the sheriff will return all of your paperwork if they are unable to serve your spouse with the divorce complaint and summons. The sheriff will send you an affidavit of non-service. Hold on to this affidavit of non-service as you may need to file a motion at a later date. If you have an alternate address where your spouse may live, you can send in another service request. The sheriff will charge a new fee for a new service request. Important things to know. The Sheriff's Department can take several weeks or months to serve your spouse. The Sheriff's Department will only attempt service during court hours, which is Monday through Friday between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. The sheriff must serve the complaint for service and summons on your spouse or a competent household member who is over the age of 16. The sheriff cannot leave the divorce complaint in the mailbox or with children. The sheriff's officer will show up to your spouse's home in full uniform. You cannot accept service on your spouse's behalf. Option 3, private process server. A private process server can serve your spouse with the divorce complaint and summons. Process services charge a fee to serve your spouse with the divorce complaint. The fee can vary in price from $50 to $150 or more. The process server will not accept a fee waiver from the court. Process servers can take a few days to a few weeks to serve your spouse with a divorce complaint. Process servers can attempt to serve your spouse outside of court business hours. This includes mornings, evenings, and even weekends. Let the process server know when your spouse is likely to be home. The process server must serve the complaint for divorce and summons on your spouse or a competent household member who is over the age of 16. The process server cannot leave the divorce complaint in the mailbox or with children under the age of 16. Next steps. Once the process server has served your spouse with a divorce complaint, they will be provided with an affidavit of service. You must file the affidavit of service with the family's clerk's office within 7 days. Your spouse has 35 days to file a response to the divorce complaint. If your spouse does not respond within 35 days, then you must file a request to enter default with the clerk's office to proceed with next steps. Important tips. Process servers are not sheriff officers. They will show up at your spouse's home in plain clothing. If possible, give the process server a photo and physical description of your spouse so they know who they are looking for. Look for process servers that offer a money-back guarantee in case they are unable to serve your spouse with a divorce complaint. Option 4. Sheriff's Department or private process server outside of New Jersey. If your spouse lives outside of New Jersey, you will need to contact the local sheriff's department or process server in the county where they live. You can find the contact information for the sheriff's department or private process servers by searching online or by calling information at 411. Sheriff's departments and process servers charge various fees. If you have a waiver of court fees, you can inquire whether the sheriff's department in that location will waive the fee. Be advised that out-of-state sheriff's departments do not have to honor a New Jersey fee waiver. Private process servers, on the other hand, will not accept a fee waiver and you will be expected to pay their fee. Every state has different requirements regarding proof of service. When sending your service request to the sheriff or process server, you should include a blank affidavit of service. If these 4 options fail, there is one last option that you can try. Option 5. Substituted service or motion for service by publication. If you cannot find your spouse to serve her or him with a divorce complaint, there are other options available for service. You can file a motion with the court asking to publish the summons in the newspaper. This option is available if your spouse cannot be located for service. This means that you do not know where they live or work, and your children, family members, or friends have not seen your spouse. For more information on filing a motion for service by publication, click this link to watch our video. Thank you for watching.